It is Friday the 7th of November. We are at Friday Night Comedy at a pub called Our Mutual Friend, which is quite convenient actually, because this is a one-off night put on by our mutual friend. I'm not sure if you've heard him on the podcast, but he's a good friend of mine, Mr. Mark Cox, who is the host of the Open Mic podcast, which I was the number one episode, very first guest. And as good a guy as he is, I think he also might be the number one vlog watcher. I mean, he's that made him sound way more. Well, actually, I'm not a teenager, so I guess he's just gay, not a paedophile. I had a lot of thoughts there, and only the worst words came out, so I do apologise, Mark. But yeah, this one's in Stevenage. A couple things to note. I had a gig a few weeks back in Stevenage, and it went great. They appear to be kind of my kind of people that like me, so hopefully that is the same tonight. It is a bill with, God, I might know everyone except one. I mean, this was supposed to be a gig for people in and around Stevenage, but, you know, Mark Cox is my guy. I was just messaging him good luck, and he said, well, come down, Chris, let's have a go. So I shall plummet to certain death and bomb my ass off. Apologies, Mark. Secondly, I'm probably going to say this in the next few vlogs, probably, because it's how I feel, but I am definitely reaching my end in terms of just not from comedy. Love it, great stuff, not hating life, but definitely been putting in a lot of work this year, as you can see from the vlogs, and there's just very little I've got to do, I think, to see out the year. So slowly going to wind down, and yeah, you know, probably try some new things more. I'm kind of bored of saying my set. It's got pretty tight now. Just me, I've just gotten pretty tight. Hey, pause is what the young people say. And I don't know. I'm starting to just, maybe I might go to like 1 or 2 gigs a week rather than kind of like the 3, potentially 4 on occasions, which isn't often. All right, I don't want people out there, if you're a new comic, thinking you've got to fucking hammer it out. I've got a lot of gigs near me. They're open mics. They're not fucking professional spots. All right, so I can just dip in and out of a lot. But about 3 a week on average is healthy. Any more than that, if you ain't got a job, that's good. If you have, then just consider your own well-being. That is a shout out to many other comics who do not listen to this or watch this vlog. Now, yeah, we'll have a good time. I wish I kind of did a vlog of yesterday, actually, because I was in this really interesting gig, and I will forget to put a picture up because I should do more editing, and I've just bought a new camera. It's arrived, so we will be upgrading finally, but that'll be a surprise for hopefully in a few vlogs time. But I was at this gig yesterday in Harlow, which was a really interesting, massive brewery, and really odd setup, I've got to say. Great room, it was really nice, everyone was lovely, but I've just never been in a big room like that, actually, and it was so interesting, and it was, I got about as much as I could out of it, which was great. I think, you know, really using everything I've learned this year. I think if I did it at the beginning of the year, it would not have gone as well as it did. And I'm not saying it was fucking rapturous, a round of applause, everyone standing, not like it usually is, but you know, it was good as I can get. I mean, I was pleased. 15 minutes again, which I've started doing more, and again, I was so worried a little bit, or stressed, but it's already coming together a little bit, and happy with that. I mean, like, I even had this guy who come up to me and said that his dad was a comic, he was in the audience, and he wanted to take a picture with me because he was like, you're going to make it big one day. I mean, like, I'm really starting to appreciate not living on the ups and downs of like performing and the actual laughs in the moment on the stage, but, you know, people fucking say nice things to you afterwards. I'm not just going to stand there and be like, oh no, that's not true. Like, it's important to accept what people are saying, even if it is just 1 or 2 people. You know, you need something to kind of help you carry on, and to have that from someone, I mean, goodness me, you know, I had some good stuff, so yeah, really appreciate that. Looking forward to tonight. Got a lot of friends. Dan Cohen's my guy. We've got Duncan. Oh my God, I've forgotten his surname. How horrible! I shouldn't have started that. You know, a lot of people I know. Really looking forward to it, and yeah, just looking forward to the weekend.
Our next act is a twin. Which means that every time his twin dies on stage, he feels it. His twin's also a comedian. But his twin is shit at comedy. We've got the good one. Unless he dies, in which case they prestiged us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to stage the wonderful Chris Alley!
Ooh, hello, my people, you alright? Do you think they just put that song on just to get you ready for a black guy? I don't know. It's pretty insulting, I'll be honest. I'll pick the song, I'll be honest. Because I wanted you guys to get ready for a black guy. You know what I'm saying? Give me your fucking money! No. I've got to say though, it's a pretty wild first half, isn't it, boy? I think. Who would have thought out of the lineup I would be the least likely to go to prison, innit, boy? I thought black people were aggressive, boy. This is a whole other level, boy. Shit, my black sister walked out, boy. She's like, this is too much for me. Oh no, God. But this is actually the second time I've been to Stevenage, right? Because I'm from London, innit? Because you know, you got to import the blacks for diversity. Come on, innit? Do you know what I mean? But this is the second time I've been here, and I'll be honest, I don't know why I came back. That's not this on Stevenage, right? That's just me. It's a me thing, right? Because like I'm a weed guy, like that's what I do, right? And Stevenage just gives me real cocaine-y vibes, you know? Like, I come into this pub, innit, and it's just like there's more people than teeth inside. You know what I mean? It's just. I went to the barman and asked for a Coke and he just put out a line. He was like, hey. Yeah, but I actually got the train here, right? I thought I was going to be late because there was an accident, right? Apparently someone threw a 3-year-old child on the train tracks, right? They called it a minor delay. And that's for Dean. Yeah, good. I'm glad. I started stand-up comedy just over 2.5 years ago, right? And it's strange to think, right? Because back then, like, I had hope. But it's been going alright, you know, it's been going pretty well. I've been getting some pretty good feedback here and there. Obviously not here. Don't be scared. The thing is, right, people have been coming up to me after gigs and saying, Chris, I really like your comedy, but it's just a bit too black. I know, like, what am I supposed to do? Joke like I'm a white person? I don't like skiing. What even is a dad? I remember the first time someone came up to me after a gig and told me my comedy was too black. I almost spat the fried chicken out my mouth. But I work for the NHS. Thank you, that was a lie. I did get a new job recently though. I've got 4 now. Comedy does not pay, or crime. But that's a story for another day, which is November 17th. It's my court date. Sorry, it's just a bit of COVID. Something about me though is I grew up a fat kid, and then I became a fat adult. I'll be honest, I did not see that coming. Because like, when you're a fat kid, right, all people tell you is that you'll grow out of it. Grow out of it? I fucking grew around it. Now, the thing is, right, when I tell people how much I weigh, they're like, oh, you hold it well, Chris. Like, what does that even mean? Yeah? That's something you tell a camel. Not a human being. But I tell people I'm fat, and I feel like people are denying me how fat I am, right? Because when I tell people I'm fat, they're like, oh, you're not fat, Chris. How much do I weigh? Well, you don't ask a lady their weight. Come on now. How do you know that? Okay, fair enough, I'll carry on. I was trying to be nice to you. Everyone's been pretty mean. I was being nice to you. You're making it really hard. I was back there being like, oh, these people are digging into you, and you just get to people. But you are lovely. Yes, please, thank you. But yeah, they say, oh, you're not fat, Chris, and I think that's the worst level I've had to be, where no one notices. Right? Because like, as a black guy, right, I want to be recognised as being fat for things like being late, innit? You know, because like, as a black person, right, when you're late, you get worried because people are going to judge you for being late because you're black. But when you're fat and late, people understand. People are way more understanding about fat people, innit? You know, like, apparently, obesity is a disability these days, innit? But apparently so, right? But I just think that's a little bit nonsense. I know it's bad, but if obesity is a disability, then why don't they allow obese people in the Paralympics? Right? I think that's a good gauge to see how disabled someone is. That was a bad sentence. Because you couldn't go into the Paralympics with like some kind of nonsense disability that people just won't believe. Like, imagine I went up to the Paralympics, right, and I was like, my name's Chris, I've come to compete for the 100 metres, obviously, and which country representing? Great Britain? Yes. What's my disability? Seasonal depression. That's why I'm at the Summer Olympics. Come on. I just think people are just much nicer about fat people these days, right? Because do people know who Joe Wicks is? Yeah, Joe Wicks, right? For those that don't know, right, Joe Wicks is this guy who got famous during the pandemic, right? Because he put out these videos online teaching people of this nation how to get fit, healthy, and talk English poorly. And, but he got in some trouble recently, right? Because he put out this tweet that said the reason why there's a rise in ADHD in young kids is because of processed food, right? And obviously we know that's absolute nonsense because we all agree, right? It's a COVID vaccine. But like, not like when I was a kid, boy. People are really mean about fat people, boy. Back then you could call a pig, you know? Like, you could, right? Do you remember that show, You Are What You Eat? Yeah? With, what's her name? Gillian McKeith? I know. I mean, if you are what you eat, what does she eat? Some old bats? That's a bit mean, I know, I'm trying. You know, but Gillian McKeith was like this small Scottish lady, right, who was about 98 years old. And she used to use pseudoscience and scare tactics, right, to get people thin, innit? Which is ridiculous, right? In one episode, she had a family of 4, right, dug up a grave in their garden and said, if you carry on eating like that, you'll end up in it. Right, which is especially scary with a Scottish accent. That's just straight threatening. You know? It just sounds mean, you know. But I realised as an adult how best to watch that show. That's just put it on mute and get high. You know? Best way. Because at the beginning of every show, she puts out this massive table with all the food for the week in it, and I'm just sitting there being like, "Ooh, that is a bitch for me, boys. You can put on a feast." Have we got any football fans in the house? Yeah, big. Yeah, nice. Stop. No, I'm a big football fan, mate. Big football fan. I'm trying to shut you down. It's not working. But who do you support, actually? West Ham. I said a football team, alright? Come on. No, that was an easy one. We got West Ham fans here. I do apologise. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. That's just facts. Yeah, thank you. Come on, Arsenal. Not doing so great, alright? Come on. But no, I'm a big football. Hey, come on. I've got to finish this. I've got 2 minutes left, and then you can do all the coke you want, alright? Just let me get on with this. Have I got any then? I actually do. I'm eating the bag. She sees a black guy, she knows. Come on. From London, innit? But if anyone wants some, right? And oh, you might have heard about this, right? The Premier League released this list of the most influential black people in football, right? So, you know, really good stuff. It's players like Rashford and Saka, and the other one that missed. Huh? Guess what they called it? They called it the blacklist. I know. Do you know what, right? Outside of it being massively offensive, I just think it lacks creativity. Like, what is idiots going to come up with next? The most influential Slovakians in football and call it a checklist? I get it, you're trying to recognise black people, right? But calling the list of black excellence a blacklist is almost as bad as putting an all-black political party together and calling that party slave labour. This guy put his hand in his head. That's a good fucking joke, alright? I mean, you know, that's good, you know? Had Diane Abbott, Chuka Muna, the other one that missed. I'll leave it on this because I don't time myself. But I have actually been trying to lose some weight recently, right? And I started shopping in Whole Foods, right? And it's much better clientele, isn't it? You just start talking to people. Morrison's, no chance. But in Whole Foods, right, it's like a community, right? And long story short, I got into this conversation once with this vegan who told me me calling myself black is actually a self-identifying preference. I'll be honest, I got no clue what they then was talking about. Like, you see, all my life I thought I was born black. I hadn't realised it was a preference. Yeah? Like, if it was a preference, I'd have one of those big black dicks, you know what I'm saying? Ah, you know what I mean? Throbbing like the rock and shit, you know?
My feet are quite big.
My feet are quite big. That's a shame because my junk looks like 3 new potatoes just huddled together. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. I've been Chris Sally. Thank you very much.
So I think I'm in a bit of a heater. It's been a day since I've cut my hair. I just realised that's why I look different. But yeah, good set. I've had 2 good sets in a row. Feeling really relaxed, feel like I'm right in the zone. Seems to be working out all right. This was just absolutely bonkers night. You know, the audience were just, well, the audience were pretty nuts for the most part. There was a couple people, I mean, Tracy, the 2 Tracys really, but there was one in particular who was just, I mean, she was absolutely fucked, really. Let's be frank. You know, it was a bit, I don't know if she was a friend, she knew her. I think the second half, she just, after yelling at the MC about Irish independence not too long ago, as Tracy's doing her thing again, who the fuck knows, she just stands up and just says, "Shut up, Tracy, right? We love you, but we've told you about this. Behave." And they just get to this back and forth. It was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I mean, you know, I was fourth in the first half and definitely was wild, like I said at the beginning of the set. You know, a few of the acts, yeah, definitely was not taking any prisoners when it came to the audience, and you know, each to their own. The audience was so up for it. It was such a good night. Mark, who sorted it out, organised it, kudos, absolutely brilliant. I had a great fucking time, as you could tell. Yeah, I really can't say much more. I'm just yeah, looking forward to kind of developing the Paralympics obesity kind of thing, because I think that's the angle I want to follow through with. It's something that just sits well in terms of my sentiments, I think. I do want to clean the language up a bit. It will need, I don't know, I just don't want to sound so aggressive with the wording. I think it's easy to kind of do that. I want to see if I can develop something a little bit softer, maybe a bit more palatable for a broader audience, because I think at the moment it's kind of just catering to people that are on my level, which is good, but you know, I just want to see if I could just hopefully not get into any kind of trappings. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it develops, but I will enjoy the process, that's for sure. Mark Cox did an absolutely wonderful set himself, absolute bonkers again. So I'm glad he had a good one. I'm sure he's watching it, so thank you for having a wonderful gig. Thank you for having me. You know, it was brilliant. Hopefully you do it again with this similar audience, because I think the venue will really work well. You know, there was a bit of noise in the back and a bit of chatter, but if you know, the audience at least was just up for it, so it was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, great gig. Listen to Mark Cox every week, I think, on the Open Mic podcast. I was the first guest ever, if you haven't listened to it already, so make sure you listen to that. It's a great resource. I think a lot of comics say that they like, newer comics like watching this vlog because it kind of gives an insight to the circuit, and so does the Open Mic podcast, you know what I mean? My personal feelings are there are some things in terms of development of comics that could be had by just bringing a little bit more light to the circuit and how it's done. I think, you know, not to sound too corny, like I know I've only been doing this 2.5 years, but I don't know. You know, it's a bit hard to figure out really at the beginning, and even when you're doing it, I think a lot of people still struggle. And if there's just a little bit more of an insight into what to do, at least on the entry level, and maybe demystify it a bit and make it such that, you know, a lot of people want to do it and never do it. And I was that very person as well. And it's been unbelievable since. And going from where I started on this vlog to, you know, showing you what I guess I'm capable of on a good night, And you know, even someone like Mark, he said, you know, it's good to see your mates kind of develop. He watches the vlog a lot, which is unbelievable for me. Always let me know whether it's a good one and that, or good set, and even the low ones. And you know, hopefully people enjoy it to some degree. I fucking enjoy doing it, and we're only going to get better and better from here. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. And yeah, on to the next one, I guess.